Jonas and Ashley,
Welcome to Epic
back
Update.
again. Pretty special day. We're shooting 3 today.
I was just gonna say that.
Get caught up.
I know.
Oh, man.
It's been a minute. We've had so much in our brain that we've wanted to talk about, but the end of summer schedules are bananas. So thank you for allowing us to have a couple weeks off, and now we're just kind of getting back into the groove. And Lucky for you, you get to hear now what is spewed from our crazy brains that has been in there for weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, we're just shooting our last video. We're just going to do 2 today, and then it kind of popped in my head. I'm like, you know what? I want to do a third about this. So I kind of, at the end of the last video, talked about real estate being in a get-rich-slow game.
Pop quiz.
Yeah.
Real estate. You get rich quick.
Slow, quick, whatever.
That's a false.
False. Yep. Fake news.
He failed the pop quiz.
I failed the pop quiz. Sorry, guys. No, I, what I mean by this is I always use my mom as an example when I'm talking with, particularly first-time home buyers. I say the 2 groups I use this quite a bit is first-time home buyers and then first-time investor buyers.
Yeah.
So, and the reason why I do there is, they've never, it's all new. It's all uncharted territory. It's scary. They don't know what to expect. Is this a good purchase for me? Is this a bad purchase? Is the time right? Is the time wrong? Da-da-da. So
many questions.
So many
unknowns.
Yeah.
So many fears.
Right. Or I'll have, clients that, have gotten sucked in or almost got sucked into these, real estate investor seminars where, come for a free weekend and blah, blah, blah. And, the free one gives you this info. You want this. This is the $300 one. They do the $300 one. Oh, no, you want the $10,000 coaching. And then, no.
It's
so if you want the real good stuff, it's the $30,000 coaching, stuff like that. And it's so funny because I've been to them, not paid for them, but I've been to them. I've been invited to them. But the fundamentals that we teach our clients is basically what they teach. Well, we do it for free. So, so getting back to my mom, the example that I always use is my mom was a teacher in California, so she didn't make a ton of money. She was on a teacher's salary. She's on a teacher's pension. She's not rolling out anything like that. She had purchased the property that I basically grew up in when I was just about to be 5. So she's lived in the exact same home for 40 years. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is when she was going to buy that property, her budget was $100,000, which to her at the time was all the money in the world. It was an insane amount of money. And, she was out there looking. She wasn't finding the right property. And then finally a property came along, nice, beautiful home, big half-acre lot, great North San Diego location, $120,000. So this is scary. She ended up purchasing the property for $118,000. Again, freaking out. I'm overextended. I bought too much, what have you. She has never moved. She has never purchased an investment property since. She's never purchased a second home. However, just sitting there, doing nothing, making her mortgage.
Gated equity.
And I talk about the timing because we always talk about the timing a lot. They're like, well, inflation or this president or this war or COVID or blah, blah, blah. All right, well.
You're so right.
Let's look at a 40-year window just off the top of my head, and I guarantee I'm missing something. We've been in multiple wars. We've been in, 4 or 5 wars. We've had COVID. We've had the Great Recession. We've had rates bumping up and down. We've had inflation. We've had the dot-com bust. We've had, all these factors, economic factors, housing factors, when you're talking about whether this is the right or wrong time. And in the meantime, property that she bought for $120,000 is now $1 million property. So doing nothing, not letting fear overtake. Oh, I got to sell because the market's doing this, the economy's doing that. She's basically made a 21% year-over-year return across the board, more than 8x her original investment. Just sitting there, doing nothing. You know what I mean? So my point being, using my mom as an example, real estate is a get-rich-slow game. So if you have absolutely no desire to become an investor, to own a second home, seasonal home, just buy a house. Sit there for 40 years like my mom. Do nothing but pay your mortgage and now just property taxes and insurance for her.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
I think a lot of us, too, can look back at different times. We're both people in our 40s, and we can look back like when we bought our first house or bought our first investment.
Scary shit.
very scared.
Yeah.
And now you look back and you're like, man, if I would have just had the money, I would have
Yeah.
bought 4 of those condos or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's always a coulda, shoulda, woulda.
Yeah.
And I think that people always make an excuse as to why now isn't the right time. But really, the biggest excuse is just fear and a lack of knowledge. And you have us to kind of help you weigh those options.
Yep.
If you're looking at an investment property and it doesn't make sense, we're going to tell you it doesn't make sense. So we're not going to have you jump into something that's going to put you or your family at some sort of weird detriment. It's not who we are as human beings. So if you have an interest in dipping your toe in and just putting yourself out there and open to different long-term opportunities, call us or email us. We'd love to have a conversation with you.
I'm probably going to misquote it, but also getting back to that, when she bought, I think rates were around the 10s, 10, 11%. So for those that are bitching about the 6s and 7s, it's all relative.
It is all relative.
Yeah. So obviously she's refinanced since and, dropped her payment, marry the property, date the rate.
Mm-hmm.
But, so if this is something that resonates with you, you want to get in the game, you want to get rich slowly, reach out and just say, Judy Funson sent me your way to purchase a property by way of her story.
And it doesn't necessarily have to be you. It could be your kid who's an adult that's looking to buy for the first time. It could be your friend that lives in another state that's thinking about a second home here. I mean, anybody that you know that could benefit from this type of deep dive conversation, that's who we're looking really to connect with.
If you have high school age kids or even junior high school age kids, and they're going to be going off to college, whether it's in Phoenix or whether it's outside, look at those markets. It may make a lot more financial sense to buy a property, even if it's a little condo, a little house.
Stick a renter in there.
Stick a renter in there for the interim till they get there, build that equity, get those tax benefits, get those 100% immediate, depreciations. But get in there and then you can park them in there, because any rentals remotely near any sort of college towns are astronomically expensive. So even if you have a primary, that's kind of a quasi investment property, you just kind of stumble into. Just something to think about. Like I said, hope it's here in our backyard, but if it's not, that's fine. Look at what's going on in those markets and don't be afraid to jump in.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks for joining us. If you have any questions or comments or concerns, get in touch with us. And if you have any topics you'd like for us to discuss, I know a few of you have reached out, so we really appreciate it. But go ahead and, depending upon how you're watching this, call us, text us, email us, comment, like, share,
like, love,
all the words that we're supposed to use. So thanks, and we'll talk to you soon.
Bye.